All right, we're in Bereshith, which is Genesis. We're still in chapter 24. The main thing, as you see going on here, we see that if you've been following along in the last series, Yishak's mother has passed away. All right, his father and his messenger had gotten together. Obviously, it doesn't say that they had conversations with Yishak about finding a wife, but finding a wife has become a topic. If you read earlier passages, you'll see where they went to go find the wife. And this is all helping those who, pray for confirmations and finding a wife, just to trust that. Don't wait on it. And just to continue to go from there. So, verse 51, see, Rivka is before you. Take her and go. Let her be your master's son's wife, as, we have the name of God right here, has spoken. So you'll have to go back to see the conversations that's going on between the messenger and her brother. All right, so we're at this conclusion here. See, Rivka is before you. All right. Let her be your master's son's wife. So that's the key here. As we have the name of God where he has spoken. God is involved in this. All right. Verse 53. And the servant brought out ornaments of silver and ornaments of gold and garments and gave them to Rivka. He also gave costly gifts to her brother and to her mother. That's key here. Costly gifts. Expensive. They have money. They have wealth. All right. Yishak is inheriting everything from his mom and dad. He's pretty much set. He don't have to really probably work. He got servants. Probably got businesses. All that going on. He just needs someone, a wife, that's going to be there to take care of the tasks and help him with, all the duties that he has to fulfill. And as we see here, if you was following along in the series before, she gave them water, gave the animals water. She knew about the household. She knew how much room they had, how much food, if they were able to stay the night and all those things. It all worked out. She was given a lot of gifts, clothes, jewelry. These are things that women want. A lot of women wear these things. You can see that in just life in general. So that's key. A wealthy son. All right. He's not poor here. Now, if they're poor, they can't give all these gifts, right? He's not probably going to have all those servants coming with him to find a wife and things like that. It's probably going to be one person, right? Probably the son himself. All right. So you got to think about that. If you're not wealthy, marriage might not be for you unless you got a wealthy wife. All right. But then who's choosing who, right? All right. 54. And he and the men who were with him ate and drank and spent the night. When they arose in the morning, he said, let me go to my master. But her brother and her mother said, let the young woman stay with us a few days, at least 10, then you go. And he said to them, do not delay me, since, we have the name of God right there, has prospered my way. Let me go so that I go to my master. Now, we see we got other people being involved in a relationship. And what's going on? As he just told them, God has spoken, right? The name of God has spoken. Go, here's Rivka before you, take her and go, right? But he had to stay the night. Now, in staying the night, they had time to think it over and all these things. And her brother and her mother want her to stay, you see, at least 10 days. Then you go. Why they want her to stay longer now? Does he not want his sister to get married and leave the family now? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Remember, it's supposed to say you leave your father and mother and be with your wife. So that's going to be key here as well. And then as we see when they get married, we'll see what goes on within the marriage. And this could be because of it, all right? Because she's going to the son, right? So, verse 57. And they said, let us call the young woman and ask her. So they called Rivka and said to her, are you going with this man? And she said, I shall go. All right, so we see here, they brought her into it. Now you got her brother, her mom, the messengers, and they're his men. They all having this conversation. They bring her into it. Are you going to go with this man? Causing doubt, causing worry, causing, second thoughts. But she chose to make her decision. She should go. All the stuff she was given, you don't know if she was rich or poor at this time. It doesn't say, but they had enough food. She's standing there. She had enough time to think about it. She made her decision. All right. So you don't want to let anyone influence your decision, especially if if you got confirmation from God involved in this. That's the key. So they let go Rivka, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. All right. So we see they let her go, Rivka, their sister, and her nurse. So she has a nurse. All right, that's key. So she got some people that can come with her. And they blessed Rivka and said to her, let our sister become the mother of thousands of 10,000s, and let your seed possess the gates of those who hate them. All right. And Rivka and her young women arose, and they rode on the camels and followed the man. So the servant took Rivka and left. All right, so we see here she's bringing some other people with her. She got her young women. All right. And they left. They rode on her camels. All right, so that's key. She decided to go. She did what she wanted to do. Made her decision. Boom, she gone. But again, she got her young women with her. So remember what happened with, Hagar and all them. So is that a wise decision? We don't know yet. So as you read on and continue to follow in the series, we'll find out more. So, verse 64. And Rivka lifted her eyes, and when she saw Yishak, she dismounted from her camel. And she had said to the servant, who is this man walking in the field to meet us? And the servant said, it is my master. So she took a veil and covered herself. That's key right there. All right, she probably didn't have nothing on, covering her face. We don't know what kind of clothes she was wearing, but she covered herself. That's what it says. She took a veil and covered herself. What is a veil? You want to check that out. So now, how does that help in this situation? Well, she saw Yishak. She didn't know who he was. She asked about him. So she's already thinking about him already, desiring her husband. And now, as she see him meeting, she dismounted. She's curious about him. She's asking about him. She covered herself. Now, covering her face, what does that allow to happen? Well, it causes the man to wonder what she looks like. They may have had conversation with each other. As we read on, it doesn't talk about it a lot, but they probably were talking before they actually got, real close to each other. And that allows not to, be wild about the beauty. If she looks really good, or if she doesn't look that attractive, you don't know yet. All you know is her spirit, what she's talking about. You able to see the eyes and things like that. Maybe not clearly, but is allowed for communication without bias. All right. So, as we continue on, verse 66, and the servant told Yishak all the matters he had done. So the servant told Yishak about all the confirmations, everything that's happened. How did she get here? Tell them the truth. All right. So let's see what Yishak does. And Yishak brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and he took Rivka, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus Yishak was comforted after his mother's death. All right, so that's key here. One of the reasons they sent for a wife is to comfort Yishak. He probably was missing his mom. She passed away. It's just him and his dad. His dad really can't do all the things his mothers can do to comfort him. So he probably said, you know what, he needs a woman, and he's doing the same thing as Hagar. I remember Hagar went off to find her son a wife from the land where she was from in Mitzrayim. All right, Abraham's female servant. Remember that? Him and Sarah planned. Sarah gave him, the thought of, having his seed go through Hagar, the female servant. He chose to do it. That was his decision. He listened to his wife. And now that she's passed away, he's doing the same thing as Hagar. He's going to go find his son a wife from the land from which he's from. All right. He finds one and he's bringing her back. So same thing. So Hagar did the same for her son, and Abraham is doing the same for his. So it's like they're the same. All right. So again, women brings comfort. All right. Women bring comfort to males. All right. We see that he loved her. All right. He loved her. All right. That's the key. And then also, he took Rebecca and Rivka. I think they call her Rebecca in the other translations that don't have their original names. and she became his wife. So they became one flesh. So if you don't know what that means, you could go talk to your pastors, your teachers, and things like that. Again, I'm not trying to replace them. This is just to help you in your readings. Remember, this is the importance of women. You can see some importance here. There may be some things I may have not said that you can get from this as well, just by allowing the Holy Spirit to talk to you internally, hearing those thoughts, and writing them down, and then studying them. Finding out if it's true, going back, reading the whole passage. All right. But we see he took her into he took her into his mother's tent. All right, Sarah. All right, so she's now the next woman that the seed is coming through. All right, so it's the same, right? We see that the relationships back then were different, and how they chose their wives and things like that. Remember, this from his relatives' lands, Abraham relatives' land that they got her from. All right, so when we go on, remember Yishak, and then remember Rivka. All right, so these are going to be some of the next important two people, like Abraham and Sarah, as we go on in the series, if you're following along. But that's key. The confirmations you get for God, if you're looking for a spouse, act on them. Talk about it. If you're a female, you desire a husband. It's a guy that you may see, you may think he's the right one. He's meeting all the confirmations internally. You meet him again. Don't let that be the last time you see him. Say something. Fear. What does fear do? Fear gets you to lie. Remember what Abraham and Sarah say, you my sister, things like that. You cannot let fear rule over you. You can't let sin rule over you, And then, if you're looking for a godly wife, one of the main things, make sure you have wealth. All right. If you're a male, one of the key things we see here, in this situation, Yishak has money now. He's getting an inheritance, right? His mother's passed away. All right. He's leaving his father and mother. Remember, they won. Sarah, Abraham is one. All right. He's also one with Hagar. So he's acting like Hagar as well in this situation. So your pastors can talk about that. If they don't, then hey, that's something to bring up. And then for female pastors, if you're talking just to the women, this is something good for y'all to talk about, and how y'all can deal in these certain situations, and the importance of, being covered, being presentable, doing good, even when not, knowing what's at stake, just so you can just show your true character. Some people know that, hey, they may be in a place where women are or males are, and they're trying to get married, and they act perfectly until they get what they want, and then they realize it's not what they thought it was going to be. So that's going to be key. But other than that, this is series 12. God bless.